So this game's called Axelay or Axelay, or I don't know how to say it, but it's a very typical flying shooter. But it's really well done. It's got really good graphics and some really creative boss fights. And it also goes top down and left and a side scrolling left to right, so it switches up the perspective, which is very rare. I don't know that there's another game on the Super Nintendo that does that as a flying shooter. There's other games like Contra that do it, but yeah, I don't know. It is a pretty hard game. It's not incredibly difficult. The thing is, it's only hard in the sense that you have to not suck, and you ideally... I mean, it gets a little boring, because... And that's probably the reason that I neglected beating it, because I've never beat... I don't know if I've beaten it, maybe a long time ago, but I don't think I've ever beaten this game, just because much of the challenge exists in just starting over, because if you lose a continue, you get 5 continues. So there's 6, I think there's 6 stages, there's 5 or 6 stages, you get 6 continues. So if you can get through the first stage with one continue, you should be able to beat this game regardless. It's not one of those games where you have to continue. I mean, you don't get infinite continues, obviously. There are games like Gradius and R-Type where you can set that up. This is not one of them. By the way, if you've played Gradius on the Game Boy Advance, I think it's a port, but that is such a hard game that if there wasn't infinite continues, no one would... You'd be like... It's not even a hard game because it's good, it's just a hard game because it's broken, but... That's the hardest flying shooter I've ever beaten, is that one. And that one you get infinite continues. Mostly because you get killed by Easter Island head statues and weird shit in that game. This game has mechanical spiders and... cruise ships and you get missiles too, but they're pretty worthless. This part is you're about halfway through the stage now, but this is really obnoxious because these things, it altered. I don't know if it's the same thing. I think it's the sub boss actually. It doesn't look like it, but I'm pretty sure it's the sub boss. I don't know if it's the same. I think it's the same one, but it comes from different sides of the screen, which doesn't really make sense. It's only hard because the screen. It just keeps scrolling to the right. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever. How could... What, is the planet, like, 100 feet wide? That breaks all the laws we know about gravity. It would be pretty cool, though. It would be like, the end of Interstellar. Finally! Piece of shit. That thing is actually the hardest boss. Because if you die there, you're pretty much not gonna finish the level. Shit. This is where it gets tough. And you gotta start taking out the missiles. Problem with the missiles is, not that they're there, it's awesome, but you might as well actually just hold down both buttons, I guess. But the thing is, it's really hard to hold down 2 buttons and then quickly. You'll notice I didn't lose a life yet, and I don't understand if you lose a life if you... Well, you probably didn't notice because you don't give a shit, but you probably didn't notice. But you only lose a life if you lose all your weapons, but it doesn't matter because you want to finish the first 2 stages on one continue, and then it doesn't matter anyway, so whatever. I mean, ideally. I'm probably going to have to retry this a couple times, but this is like my 3rd attempt. Shit! Oh, and now I lost. Why did I lose a life then? Is it if you get hit? I don't know. Doesn't make any. Maybe you don't. I don't know. I have no idea how it works. It doesn't matter. The next stage is easy. Now here, this is bullshit. Look at this. What the fuck am I looking at? Ah! If you don't start scrolling, you die because you don't move. The screen moves faster than you. I really needed that for the boss, but whatever. The boss is gonna be here in a second. Now you want to take these fucking missiles out. I'm gonna guess this thing does more damage. This 3rd weapon, even though it sucks. And now it looks like the ground can damage you, but it can't. This game has really good graphics, though. I mean, for the time they were really good, but even today they hold up really well. It looks better than a lot of modern games to me. A lot of Super Nintendo games look better than modern games to me, I gotta be honest. Because usually they're indie games, 2D games. This part is hard only because that spider, it's a spider, so it has a spider web, but it's like a tractor beam and it slows you down, which is a really cool, clever idea. It's a really cool boss, but it's hard because, not really hard, it's just hard because you need to time your movements and not even bother with those other spiders. Yeah, it's easy if you do that, I guess. Oh, shit. Unless he traps you in a corner, then you're kind of screwed. Whatever. Fuck. There we go. I suck. You get an extra life, though. I don't know if you get an extra life because of the points, or because... I don't know. Anyway, now you get a different missile. This one moves down, this one moves into the enemy. Let me go with this one. I like that voice too, arms and